There is much more to America's sexiest vet than good looks. And now Dr. Evan Antin is sharing his story from Kansas schoolboy to international wildlife expert. It's a thrilling ride, to say the least. And we are so excited to catch up with him now. Welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's you've got a friend there, too. Who'd you bring along?
This is Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Danny. He didn't go on any of the adventures in the book. He just kind of holds down the fort at home.
Probably best. Probably best. I don't know. He's kind of little compared to the things you've been up to. I mean, after reading this book, I was thinking, wow, like it reads like fiction because some of these stories don't even seem real. What was it like for you sitting down and putting all this together?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, a bit of it was going down memory lane and reflecting back on, some of my favorite stories from 15 years ago.
Yeah. So for those who haven't picked up the book yet, tell us about some of the places that you visited, some of the animals that you've encountered. There's a lot.
Sure, yeah. So I go to, Australia, several countries in Africa, Southeast Asia, Central and South America. It all started with me wanting to find my favorite animals in their native habitats, wherever that may be. And so a lot of that was these continents and places I was talking about. So I've worked with rhinos and crocodiles and, a lot of different primates in Central and South America, tons of different reptiles, including venomous snakes, Komodo dragons. The list goes on.
So many times in this book you say, this is the coolest experience of my life. Can you narrow down maybe the one top coolest experience you've ever had?
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. I'll tell you one of the most rewarding, and that was in Indonesia. I just graduated vet school, and I was about to start doing my first actual wildlife work on wild animals in another country across the world, and I came just in time. This wildlife rescue where this crested macaque, this crested black macaque, a critically endangered primate, less than 200 in the wild, happened to need medical help the day I showed up, and I got to do dental work, and he had a tooth root infection in his canine tooth. That was a very special patient and a special moment for me.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons for you writing this book is to raise awareness for animals on our planet. What is something that we can all do to protect our animals and our planet?
A big problem that I see these days is actually social media. And I think social media does a lot of amazing things for wildlife. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great people on there doing great things. At the same time, I do think the net effect of what social media has to offer is probably more destructive than it is constructive for our wildlife. But, things as simple as not engaging with certain kinds of content. And some of this content, for example, would be with, we were talking about primates, right? When we see chimps or other primates, whether it's capuchin or whatever it is, looking like a pet where it's dressed up in clothes or playing with domesticated pets or taking a bath or cuddling or playing on a phone or whatever it is actually very destructive for these animals because it fuels the wildlife poaching and the wildlife abduction and taking these animals out of the wild. If you see something that looks a little bit questionable, maybe this isn't the best interest of this animal, maybe this isn't good for this species, think twice before you engage in it.
And it doesn't come from a professional source. I mean, if you're going to probably get information about animals, you should get it from someone who's an expert. This is a side note, but it just makes me think, I imagine you're not a fan of Tiger King.
Oh, I'm thankful that they did bring some attention to the tiger captivity and big cat captivity situation in the U.S.
Yeah.
I wish they highlighted some more of the real things about it than people need to know. I feel like that was minimally discussed, but those cub petting is a horrible thing. For any of you guys watching or listening, please don't pursue cub petting. It's not good for those individual tigers, and it's definitely not doing anything for real wildlife conservation for our tigers.
Yeah. Well, with all this traveling, you're still a practicing vet. You're still hosting the Animal Planet show. You have a Facebook show called Tusk to Tails. Yeah. Not that you have any more time, but what's next?
I just want to keep doing more of what I'm doing, and I just want to do it on as big of a scale as I can and get as much awareness out there for veterinary medicine, for our pets, wildlife and wildlife conservation, and just educating and inspiring people about animals and sharing with them why they're so special to me.
Yeah, well, keep doing what you're doing. I love reading the book, and I'm sure other people will too. World Wild Vet Encounters in the Animal Kingdom is available for download or in bookstores everywhere now. And be sure to follow Evan on social media to follow all of his adventures. Evan, thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I loved your questions. It was really fun to chat with you today.